Hey everyone! It's December and people are putting up their Christmas trees. You can see mine back here. I was decorating it and putting up the ornaments and stuff, but I found that I didn't really have as many as I would like to fill up the tree. A few years ago, I went and bought a bunch of blue Christmas ornaments, but I don't know, that's not the kind of theme that I wanted to go for this year. I was thinking more of a gold-red kind of theme. So I'm just not putting those blue ones on, and I'm just putting homemade ones or photo frames and childhood ones, etc. But it wasn't getting filled out as much as I wanted, so I decided to make a few this year. As you guys probably already know, I hosted our Friendsgiving this year, and in that I went and bought a bunch of autumn decor, and one of the things I bought was this big bag of pine cones. I just filled up a vase with them, and it was just a nice little table centerpiece thing. But I still had a bunch of pine cones left over, so I thought that this would be a good opportunity to make some ornaments out of the pine cones. So I'm going to show you guys how I made 3 different types of Christmas ornaments out of pine cones. So let's get started. So I'm going to be showing you guys how you can make 3 pine cone ornaments: a snowy tree, a Santa, and a hedgehog. To make the tree, you'll need a pine cone, green paint, white paint, glitter, a ribbon, string, and hot glue. Paint the pine cone green. I'm sitting here painting each individual little scale thing, but you could totally spray paint it if you want or dip it. Once that's dry, dab the white paint on the tips of the pine cone scales. And then while that's still wet, sprinkle it with glitter. While you're waiting for that to dry, take a length of ribbon and tie it in a bow. I find this method to be the easiest. Basically, you make 2 loops on either end, like so, cross them over, bring 1 loop around and through. Pull it tight and you've got a bow. This ribbon was actually a little bit more difficult to work with. It looks like I'm kind of struggling a little bit. It's a weird kind of material that keeps getting caught on itself. So every time I was trying to adjust it, it was pulling itself back out, I guess. If you use a satin ribbon or something, it probably won't be a big deal. This is I don't even know how to explain the texture. It's scratchy and rough. So yeah, after messing with it for a while, I had it exactly how I wanted it. Just adjust the bow so that it's as big as you want and so that the tails are as long as you want. When the pine cone's dry, tie some string to the top at this little stem kind of thing, and then glue the bow to the top. And it's done. To make a Santa, you'll need a pine cone, white paint, pink or skin-colored paint, a small ball, either wood, styrofoam, whatever kind of material you have, red vinyl or felt, basically just some kind of fabric that's stiff enough to hold itself up, white fluffy fabric, scissors, hot glue, string, and a large needle. Make a cone shape with your fabric, wrong side out, and then stick the pine cone in, wider side in first. Mark the edge of the fabric where it's overlapping, and then mark where the pine cone meets the fabric. Lay the fabric out, redraw the line to clean it up, and add a little bit extra along the edge where the fabric meets up. You need this tab for the glue, so it should look a little something like this. Cut this out, and then glue it together. Paint the pine cone white. I went with that dip method that I mentioned earlier. It's kind of messy, but it ensures that it gets completely covered. But like I mentioned before, you could just spray paint it if you want, or paint each individual scale like I did in the first one. And then paint the ball pink or tan, and then set these aside to dry. Once dry, use the hot glue to attach the red cone hat thing to the bigger end of the pine cone. Glue the pink ball right under the red fabric, like so. Cut a strip of the white fluffy fabric, and then glue that around the base of the hat, and then cut off the excess. Take a small square of the fluffy fabric, glue the corners and bring them in, and this will essentially make a round poof shape. Glue this to the top of the hat. Using a large needle, thread the string through the hat just below the white poof. tie a knot, and it's done. And finally, to make the cute little hedgehog, you'll need a pine cone, tan polymer clay, or even better, air drying clay, black paint, hot glue, and string. Work the clay into a cone shape. Make sure to hold it up to the pine cone to get the proportion correct. You can even kind of squish the clay into the pine cone a little bit. When you remove it to bake it, the pine cone scales will be imprinted a little bit, which makes it a little easier to line back up when gluing. Take 2 small balls of clay, flatten, and then pinch together on one side to make little ears. Stick these on either side of the clay cone. Bake the clay according to the package directions. If you're using air drying clay, however, you can just skip all of that and form the cone straight onto the pine cone and let it dry like that. If you're using polymer clay, after it's done baking and cooled, use some hot glue to glue it onto the pine cone. Dot some paint on for the eyes and nose and let it dry. Tie a string onto one of the pine cone scales near the top of the head, whichever one makes the pine cone balanced, and then it's done. Honestly, this guy is my favorite in concept, but probably my least favorite when it was actually made. I think that it would maybe work better with a smaller pine cone, probably. And then just hang them up when you decorate your tree. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification bell, all of that good stuff. You can follow me on all of my social media, which will be linked down below. And if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below. And I'll see you next week. Thank you so much to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you like my videos and have learned something from them, please consider supporting me on Patreon to help me continue to make them. It's totally optional. I'll still be making videos either way. It just helps me be able to put out better stuff. A link will be down below, or you can just click up here in the corner.